All right, we live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you know what this is. It's the scene presented by, well, the dish presented by the scene. We here. We're going to go ahead. We're going to cover this World Series. We're going to talk about some things. I am your host, Germ So True, and alongside the guru, Mr. Jorge himself, and also young Swiss Art. This is the car edition, y'all. The car edition. Pulling up at the bus stop. All we doing is just giving them a peep of the scene. That's what's going on tonight. So look, y'all, game 4, game 5. Let's do a quick recap because right now, as we stand, we got the Dodgers up 3-2 in the series, potentially with an opportunity to get the last major championship of the year. Let that sink in. Jorge, let's start with you. How did we get here?
Oh man, Game 4 was epic, man. Instant classic. That's all I gotta say. LA keep doing it, man. Like Trav says, two out, whatever he was saying, 2 out mafia. I think that was what he was calling them. All 7 RBIs with 2 outs, but the most important 2 out RBI came out by Tampa Bay in the ninth inning on a play that Brent Phillips hit a single, and the Dodgers had 2 errors. They scored the game-winning run. Game 5, gotta give it to him. We've been talking a lot of crap about him. Kershaw, man, he pitched 5 2/3 innings, only allowed 2 runs, but more importantly, the bullpen did their job. They shut Tampa Bay out, and they didn't score a run after the fourth, and or after the third, I think it was. Sorry. And in the fourth inning, Tampa Bay had a big chance to score the third run to make it an even ball game, but they ran themselves out of that by Margot getting thrown out at home. So Tampa Bay got to stop making them mistakes on the base pads if they want to win tonight.
Artie, how did we get here?
Yeah, I mean the same thing that Jorge was saying. I mean, as big as the hit was, just as big was Chris Taylor making an error in center field, and then the throw being not caught by the catcher, and Randy was going to run back to third, but once that throw got away, he came back home, and we got ourselves to this spot where it was going to force a game 6 regardless of who won game 5. In game 5, the Dodgers came out. Rays had multiple chances to get back in the game, tie the game, win the game. The Dodgers put them away, and it's as simple as that. And now we're here, game 6, Tuesday night. We're here.
So just real quick, just to say this, the way that the rest of that game went in game 4 was the most irrational thing that I've ever seen in baseball. Like, how did the catcher miss the ball and he tried to sell it like he didn't, like he got it, and Rosarena was about to go back to third, and then the ball came out the back. I was like, dude, how? Like, I don't understand. I just that made me so angry.
My thought is Tampa Bay, and that was actually a good example of Tampa Bay kind of being very aggressive on the game on the base pads and during the games when they're on base. They've been very aggressive. I mean, I get it's game 4, you're down 2-1. You're gonna have runners on second and third with 2 outs and the game tied. You're gonna go to extra innings. I didn't understand why you sent Randy there. And if it wasn't for the mistakes that the Dodgers made, he would have been out, and it might have been costly for them. Luckily, they made those mistakes for on Tampa Bay's end. But man, I mean that along with Houston, LA in a few years ago, I forget which game that was. Those 2 games, the way that they ended, I mean, this is crazy. I mean, doesn't make any sense. I mean, to make 2 mistakes, and then the Rays made a mistake on a play by sending Randy, but the Dodgers made a mistake, which didn't make the Rays mistake even show. I mean, it was a lot of bad baseball in that ninth inning, for sure.
Yeah,
So what's the pitching match? Go ahead, Jorge. I'm gonna let you do that. Then we're gonna go into the pitching matchup.
yeah. If they would have never misplayed those 2 balls, the Rosarena would have been out by a mile. He would have been out when he fell. The catcher would have tagged him as soon as he got up. That's how far out he was, and it wasn't even close. It was just, and we said this, for you guys that don't know, we watch the sports. We have a group chat to where we watch the games all together, and we all went wild when that happened because you don't see that. LA doesn't beat themselves, and right there, they beat themselves.
That right there in itself is something interesting. Ty may be here. We're gonna see if he can get on. If he can't, it's no big deal. I'm looking right now. I'm looking to see what our matchup is. For Tampa Bay, we got Snell, and then we got I suck at pronouncing last names.
Gonsolin.
Thank you, Artie. Thank you, Artie. It's not that I can't read. I just don't want to butcher names. That's all. That's all. Of course. But with that being said, this pitching matchup tonight, that means this sets up for if we go to Game 7, we know we're gonna get Bueller for the Dodgers, which is the ultimate ace in the hole because I thought Kershaw should have pitched Game 4, and then Bueller should have been tonight, and then Kershaw should have been ready for 7. At the end of the day, the ship got to go with your best pitchers, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's just call it what it is. Key points for the pitching matchup tonight.
I think they got to push Snell a little more. I think he has to pitch more than 4 or 5 innings because that's his usual. And he actually did pretty well against LA, their first matchup. But he has to go a little deep, and then if he can't, Tampa Bay has to keep that lineup in check with their bullpen. They haven't been able to do that much, really. I mean, look at Game 4; they let up 7 runs. But yeah, Snell has to go a little deeper, and not only that, the offense of Tampa Bay has to stop relying so much on Randy. They have to spread out the offense through that lineup.
Artie?
Yeah, I'll say that in Game 2, this was the starting pitching matchup. So this sets up for a bad Dodgers bullpen to pitch a bullpen game, and that's not good. Randy did not play very well the first 2 games, and he didn't hit the ball very well the first 2 games. And in Game 2, the Rays still came out on top 6-4, and this was the starting matchup. Gonsolin only went 1 1/3. Snell went 4 2/3, and the crazy thing about that is he recorded 14 outs. 9 of them were by strikeout, and he also had 4 walks. So if he can limit the walks and keep the strikeouts at somehow the same rate and can go 6 innings, as Jorge said, I don't see a reason why Tampa should lose this game since the Dodgers are pitching a bullpen game. But, again, we've seen teams beat themselves this October, and that's a possibility. But the pitching matchup today favors Tampa, but it's set up for tomorrow to favor LA for sure.
Yep.
And let's just briefly touch the comments before we make a prediction for the game here, fellas. We got Mo, we got Jay. They both said what's up. Pretty much, pretty much everybody is saying that they want to see a Game 7. That's what we get in here from Mr. Mo Schefter here, and they agree with you, Jorge, about the base running, which I think we all talked about base running at one point or another in this situation. And we even got a Ty Love reference in the comments about him talking about that. And Vic, I don't care about goods. Yeah, I don't care about goods. But then he said, keep Mookie out of the base paths or whatever the case is. Another thing about base running, I think it's kind of simple. Base running has been one thing that has – the only thing about the Dodgers that's interesting is they've been getting great contact all throughout their lineup. Mm-hmm. It's been a lot of great contact. So this makes this really, really, really interesting moving forward because does this contact turn into home runs in this game? I'm looking forward to that. As far as the Rays, you cannot let the Dodgers score more than 4 runs in this game if you want to have a shot to win. I think the Tampa Bay offense is capped out at about a consistent 4 runs. Has to turn into a pitching matchup and has to go into the bullpens. That's where the Rays have a strength, and that's where they have to focus. The late rallies and things of that nature Keep the game close. Keep it within a 1 or 2 run game, and that's what is going to make this ultimately a great game. I'm going to start off with predictions for tonight because we got about a minute and a half before the game is supposed to start. Give me the Dodgers tonight to close it out and finish. I said exactly what I thought was going to happen, and it didn't happen the way I thought it was. It was the other way around. But give me the Dodgers tonight. If we get a game 7, I hope it's a game 7 where it's like 20-21, something crazy. I hope we get something crazy. Like then it's a walk-off home run, game 7 in a pandemic World Series year. That'll be dope. Be fire. Jorge, what you got tonight?
I say Tampa takes it and forces a game 7. I say they actually score more than 4 runs tonight, just because it's going to be a bullpen game for LA. I say they score 7. LA scores 4 or 5.
What you got, Artie?
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys on a lot of points. I agree with Germ for sure, and I know I brought this up before the series that the close games Tampa is very, very good in. When the games get out of hand, LA wins the games. When the games are close, Tampa knows how to close. They know how to finish. I'm taking Tampa. I'm taking them the same score that they had in game 2 when you had this pitching matchup. I'm going to take them 6-4 by 2 runs for sure. But they're not going to win by anything more than that. Tampa's not that type of team. So 6-4, and we go on to game 7, Bueller versus Morton.
Man, look, if we get game 7, just know we're going to have a whole bunch of smiling faces coming at y'all tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of interesting things. We may even go live a little earlier if we can swing it with the crew. So we can really dive into the consistencies of how we even got there. So with that being said, that's Jorge. That's Artie. I'm Germ. Scen, THESCEN. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys come. You just never know when we're going to go live. You just never know. Make sure y'all just around. We got more stuff coming this week from 94, from Views. And of course, we will recap the World Series, whether it be tomorrow or whether it be Thursday.